Once a problem capacitor bank has been identified, a decision can be made about how to deal with it. Two questions that need to be answered are, should only the affected part of the entire bank be replaced? And should the changeout be made immediately, or can it be rescheduled for a more convenient time? The answers to these questions will vary from company to company according to policy and field conditions. In this particular case, the decision was made to change out the whole capacitor bank. A crew was dispatched to the site with a replacement bank and the equipment necessary to do the job safely. As we watch the changeout, keep in mind that only one method of doing this job is being shown. The equipment and procedures recommended by your company may be different. Be sure you know what they are and follow them carefully. The job of replacing a capacitor can be thought of as a series of tasks, including the tailgate session where the job is planned, electrically isolating the capacitor bank and grounding the bushings to make the capacitor safe to work on, physically isolating the bank so that it can be removed from the pole, rigging and replacing the capacitor bank, and connecting and energizing the new capacitor bank. Now, let's join the crew at the job site as they hold their tailgate session. During the session, they discuss the job to be done and the responsibility of each crew member. In addition, they review company safety procedures regarding the changeout of capacitors to make sure that everyone is fully aware of what is expected of them. Any special safety considerations due to the specific job or location are also covered at this time. As part of the preparation for the job, the new capacitor bank and its control wires are visually inspected to check that they are in good condition and that all of the necessary parts are there. Once the capacitor bank is ready for installation, a line worker goes up and rubbers up the neutral. Before continuing, a quick visual inspection of the capacitor bank and pole is made to look for anything unusual or out of place. Before the bank can be rigged for removal, the primaries need to be rubbered up to make the work area safe. The line workers jumper each bushing of each capacitor unit to the frame ground connection. This eliminates the possibility that the capacitor is still charged. The capacitor bank is now electrically isolated and discharged. Before the capacitor bank is removed from the pole, all of the connections to other equipment have to be undone and secured. The line workers carefully disconnect and remove the control cables from the control box, and the leads connecting the bank to the fused cutouts are unbolted and removed. The jumpers are then coiled and secured and can be used later on the new bank. Finally, the ground connection between the frame and the pole is disconnected. The capacitor bank is now physically disconnected from the system. A material handling bucket truck is used to rig the bank for removal. Once the derrick is in position, the line from the boom is attached to the frame of the capacitor bank so that the bank will remain upright when it's free from the pole. A test strain is taken to make sure that the rigging is going to do the job. Then, the bolts holding the brackets to the pole are loosened and the bank is lifted free from the pole. The line worker maintains control of the bank while being lowered to the ground. Once the bank is lowered to the ground, the rigging is transferred to the new capacitor bank, which has arrived at the job site in a crate. The new unit is raised, maneuvered in position, and bolted into place. The line worker moves into position to make the connection between the frame of the capacitor bank and the pole ground. It's important to make sure that the connection between the ground wire and the lug is tight. Next, the jumpers are installed between the capacitor bank and the bottom of the fused cutouts. The other end of the jumper is connected to the load side of its fused cutout. The line worker reconnects the control cables to the control box. After the jumpers are installed, the crew rechecks all of the connections that have been made to make sure they're tight. When the crew is satisfied that the controls are operating, the line worker moves into position and closes the fused cutouts. The capacitor bank is back to its normal operation. In this unit, we've discussed what a pole top capacitor does and how it works. We watched as a troubleshooter investigated a report about a malfunctioning capacitor. And then we joined a crew in the field to watch them remove the capacitor bank so that it can be repaired and replace it with a new bank. Take some time now and review the material for this unit. Discuss any questions you may have with your instructor.